What is up, guys? Winner Kills here. Welcome to a brand new deck profile. I figured some people would probably want to see the latest and greatest Photon Galaxy deck profile. I did upload a dual video with it. I made a few mistakes in that video, but it is what it is. But I do have the deck profile. There are proxies in this build, as you can see, like Hyperstar and number 90 Photon Lord. I think literally the only thing that's going to take a while to actually come out is Hyperstar himself. I think because he comes out in Cybernetic Horizon, and I'm pretty sure every other proxy in the deck will be out in the new Battles of Legend set on the 29th. So it won't be too long before the deck is actually fully playable in a tournament setting. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and share my list with you guys. So with the monster lineup we have here, Triple Galaxy Eyes, Photon, Dragon. This is easily a must-of at 3. He's your heart of the deck. He's a target for trade-in. He's your main boss monster. You can revive him off Galaxy Knight for free. If someone battles him or he battles, you can just banish himself and the monster he was attacking until the end of the battle phase. And if the monster he banished was an Ixies material, he gains 500 attack for every material that Ixies monster lost. That's not too relevant in this format, but it can come up against certain decks, I suppose. But like I said, not too relevant of an effect this format. We're going to go through the Photon monsters first, I guess. I guess I'll count him as a Photon monster. He's both, obviously. He's a Galaxy and a Photon monster. But next we have Triple Photon Thrasher. This guy, I was really skeptical of playing with the new cards like Vanisher and Advancer, but he just gets your play started for free if you just special summon him out. He's an equipped target for Orbital. He's a target on board to allow your Galaxy Knight play to go off, and then you can use him for rank 4 play to go into the Starliege Blast Dragon, or Paladynamo if you're playing that, or Starliege Lord Galaxian if you're playing that as well. So many good plays this guy inhibits, so you got to play him at 3. Next, this is the first proxy in the deck. This card was recently confirmed a couple days ago. I did make a video on him. It's Photon Orbital. If you want to get the full rundown of what this card does, basically, you can equip him from hand or field to any Photon or Galaxy monster you control. And then while the monster is equipped with it, it gains 500 attack and can't be destroyed by battle. But the better part of this card is the fact that you can send a card as an equipped card to the graveyard to search a Photon or Galaxy monster. Unfortunately, it's not a Photon or Galaxy card because it would just be absolutely busted at that point. But searching a Photon or Galaxy monster in most cases is enough to get your play going. The equip effect, like to equip it to anything, is not once per turn, so you could boost something up by 1,000 if you did open up 3, which is kind of relevant because everything in the deck already has such high attack points. But obviously the only once per turn, hard once per turn effect is the send to search. So yeah, Photon Orbital, definitely a must-have at 3 in my opinion. The next card is 2 Photon Vanisher. This card is also coming out in the new set, I believe. And with this guy, basically, if you control a Photon or a Galaxy monster, you can special summon from your hand. He's sort of like a level 4 Guardian of Order, but he's a lot better because you don't need 2 lights. It's just, so like you could have Thrasher than this guy. And then when you special summon, you get to add Galaxy Eyes from deck to hand as well. And on top of that, if he is used as an Ixies material, he basically grants that monster the ability, if it destroys anything by battle, it will banish that card instead of destroying it and sending it to the graveyard, which is kind of relevant in some cases. If you're going to play Starliege Paladynamo, I guess it's not terrible. Other than that, the effect is not too relevant. You're just really relying on the effect. It gets you a search. It gets you Galaxy Eyes to hand, which sometimes isn't like super optimal to do via any other way. Like you could add Galaxy Eyes off a Galaxy Soldier, which is not optimal. You could add Galaxy Eyes off of Orbital, which in most cases won't be optimal. But it gets Galaxy Eyes to hand for trade-in, for discard fodder for a Galaxy Soldier, to set up a Galaxy Knight play. which is just awesome. The card is definitely something the deck's been needing. So this is all the Photon stuff. Now we'll go into the main Galaxy monsters, which consist of 3 Galaxy Knight. I've been back and forth with this card, running 2 or 3, but I think 3 is the magic number. Because he's a trade-in target, you want to play as many trade-in targets as you can, because I'm playing 3 trade-in, so I wanted that 6 targets for trade-in max. I don't want to have like 5 for 3 because I just don't think that fits. But basically, you can normal him without distributing if you control a Photon or Galaxy monster, and then he loses 1,000 attack regardless. But if you do normal summon him that way, you can special summon a Galaxy-sized Photon Dragon out of your graveyard in defense position, which sets up an instant rank 8 or link 2, depending on whatever you want to go for, I guess. And then next we have triple Galaxy Soldier. You can summon him by pitching a light, and then you can add a Galaxy monster or Galaxy card, I believe it is. Add 1 Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. So he searches Galaxy Eyes, he searches Knight, and he searches our next card, which is Wizard. A lot of times I haven't even used this to, like, you know, do the classic Soldier for Soldier, and then make Cyber Dragon Infinity. I just don't even use them for that. I just use them as possibly just link fodder to make an already like better field. Make a field that I already have even better. Just use him as a search engine, and then he's like a free body on the field, I guess. But next, I have 3 Galaxy Wizard. This guy's really nice because he can do 2 things during the same turn if you have Expedition in hand as well, which we'll get to later. But basically, he can increase his level to 8, increasing it by 4, that is, and then you contribute him as cost, and then once tributed, you can search a Galaxy card from deck to hand, which is really good. So he can search Soldier, he can search Knight, he can search Galaxy Eyes, Galaxy Zero, Expedition, Galaxy Cyclone. He can search a whole lot of cards. But the thing is, like, you can make him level 8, Expedition him to get out something out of your deck, and then you contribute him away to search as well. And it's not hard once per turn, so if you do Soul Charge him or Monster Reborn him, you can use him again. He's not a hard once per turn. It's just once per turn, and yeah, that's really it. No hard once per turn, so the card's really good, and you gotta play him at 3. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go into the spells now. That's all the monsters. I'm not playing hand traps, not because I don't think it's a good idea. I think playing Ghost Ogre and Valor in the main deck is a very good idea because you can add them back with a card like Hyperstar after you use them. But like, the deck relies a lot on seeing combo pieces, and especially since you really want to go first, and a lot of times you can play through a board of going second because you have so many plays available to you usually. I just personally can't find room. I guess that the only thing I would cut in the main deck, it would be the Cyclones. But we'll go into the spells now. We have triple trade-in, obviously for draw power you need that, because this deck is a little inconsistent at sometimes. The best spell card in your entire deck is Photon Sanctuary. It literally does so many things for you. If you have obviously you have this and Thrasher in hand, you're obviously going to want to summon Thrasher first so you can at least summon him. But this sets up literally so many plays. You can special summon Galaxy Eyes from your hand for free if you already have Hyperstar on board, because you can special summon by attributing 2 monsters with a 2,000 or more attack. So you can distribute 2 tokens away, get Galaxy Eyes on board for more damage or more plays for Expedition or whatever. These count as targets for Galaxy Knight, so you have Galaxy Eyes engraved and you have this in hand and this, you can go boom, summon out Galaxy Eyes, and then make a rank 8, or use the remaining tokens to go into a Hyperstar and set out a rank 8 with just those 2 cards. If you have Galaxy Eyes already engraved, which is not that hard to do because you play Foolish, Soldier to ditch him, you can search him off Vanisher, and obviously a trade-in target being the main thing. And you can equip Photon Orbital to the tokens as well before you go ahead and link away with them. It's a 1-card Hyperstar. You can't special summon anything other than light monsters the turn you activate it, which is might as well not even be in the card on this deck because you don't have any other monsters in the main or extra deck than light. So 2 Galaxy Cyclone. So I'm playing this card because this deck has a hard time dealing with back row. Obviously, there's no other back row removal I'd really want to play other than MST, but this is searchable. I believe it says target one set card, so you can target set cards from the hand, and then when it's in the grave, you can banish it to pop a face down or a face up card, and which is good for removing floodgates. You can use number 90 to attach this from deck, detach it, and then next turn you can use the banish effect to pop a face up card. Get rid of a floodgate or something on board that might be ruining your day, like maybe Light Imprisoning Mirror, I don't know. But obviously, you'd probably want to side in more back row at that point, like Twin Twister or MST, because you don't really want to ditch stuff to the graveyard unless it's Galaxy Eyes or something that you can soul charge out, or Galaxy Zero, I guess. But yeah, if I was going to cut anything for like 2 Ghost Ogre or 2 Valor, it'd probably be Cyclone, I guess, and then just put a playset of these in the sides along with Twin Twisters. But we'll move on. Double Galaxy Expedition. This card was bricking at 3, and I just found not enough times to use it. But with this new build, actually, with a lot of the new stuff, I might go back to playing 3. You can search this off of Wizard, and you can also search it off of Photon Lord. But basically, you just target a level 5 or higher monster on your field of Photon Galaxy 1, and then you get to special summon a level 5 or higher from your deck, and it gets summoned in defense position. You can only activate 1 a turn. It's a very good card. It's just like a win more card. Then we have Galaxy Zero here. And this card you can make live, like instantly turn 1, which is really nice. Then Galaxy Zero, this is Premature Burial, basically. You can target a Photon or Galaxy monster in your graveyard, special summon it. In face of attack position, it can attack, its effects are negated, and then if it were to be destroyed by battle, you would destroy this instead. I believe that's what it says. If it would be destroyed during the battle phase, you can destroy this card instead. When this card leaves the field, the equipped monster's attack becomes 0. You can only activate 1 Galaxy Zero per turn. And equip it with this card, it cannot attack, and its effects are negated. Or activate its effects. So like you can't activate its effects. But really, when you get this when you use this, it's best to combo with a card like this, because you can revive Galaxy Eyes, and then use it as a target for Expedition, and then go into a rank 8. You could revive an Ixies monster in grave, like 107, and then just slap, let's say, full armor on top of it, then Cipher Blade, and clear 2 cards on your opponent's side of the field. There's just so many things you can do with this card. It sets up a lot of plays. I think you have to play this card. I just think it's like too good not to play. 2 Return of the Dragon Lords. A lot of targets for it. I wouldn't play 3. I think 2's fine. Double Desires. There's really no other draw power for the deck that I like other than Trade-In. And Desires, I guess, is the only other card that fits in. Other cards I was thinking of were Advanced Draw, but that card can just be dead at any other time, other than then Pot of Desires could just be live most of the time. You do play a lot of 3-ofs, and usually you want to play out your hand first and then Desires, unless your hand's really bad. And then if you banish good things off of it, same principle applies as always as it has with Desires. Like, if you banish good stuff and you open bad anyways, you were going to lose anyways, regardless. Foolish Burial, Soul Charge, and Reborn, because it's just busting this deck. And then 1 Rhoda, because we have 5 targets, so might as well play Rhoda in the main deck just to search out cards like Photon, Thrasher, or Vanisher to get your plays going even more. We'll go into the extra deck now, which is something that I've been back and forth with for a while. So Double Hyperstar. This card is not out yet. It won't be out until July 27th in Cybernetic Horizon. Basically, it's just 2 light monsters. Then all light monsters gain 500 attack and defense. All dark lose 400 attack and defense. And then if it's destroyed by battle, card back instead of the grave, you can add back a light monster from grave to hand. So yeah, it's really good. It's the link monster that the deck needs. 100%, because all your stuff is light. You can make it extremely easy off of Photon Sanctuary, because it's just 2 light monsters and say effect monsters or anything. The card's just really good. I was debating on playing 3 because you can go through them very, very fast, especially with a card like Sanctuary, just to make it that easy. But I've been back and forth between it, like I said. And next we have number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. This card is literally the rank 8 that the deck has been needing for such a long time. Felgrand is nice. Dark Matter was terrible for the deck. It was good for any other dragon deck except for Galaxy, because the only dragons you play in a standard build is Galaxy Eyes, and that obviously doesn't work with Dark Matter. But I digress. Dark Matter, I just hate that card. Just because it could have been so good for the archetype, but it was just trash. But this card, you know, a year and a half later, is really, really good, and still not out yet. I think this comes out in Battles of Legend on the 29th of June, which is in like a week and a half or so. But basically, 2 level 8s, and basically it has the effect that if it has a Photon card as material, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, which is absolutely incredible. Really good against Brandish, really good against you know, True Draco, because they can't beat over the 3k defense, especially now that Masterpiece is gone. Even Combatant can't get over it unless they make it unaffected. If they don't make it unaffected by spells, then it's going to go up to 3,300, and then they can do. But at that point, they have to invest a lot of resources just to get over this. And then the other ability, it has 2 effects, other than the first one I mentioned. Basically, during your opponent's turn only, quick effect. It's basically like a True Draco monster, like Ignis, Maiden, or Dynamite Knuckle. Basically, if they activate an effect, you can add a Photon or Galaxy card from deck to hand, and either add it to hand or attach it as material to this card. Maybe you need to attach a Photon card so it can't be destroyed by card effects. It's just so good. And then the other effect is, during the player's turn, when a monster effect is activated or an opponent's monster effect is activated, you can attach a material to negate it, and then if the detached card was a Galaxy card, you can also destroy that card. And ideally, you can have a Galaxy Knight and a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon under, or both of them, so you don't ever really have to worry about not destroying the card that you're negating. So I could see maybe that would be like maybe like a turnoff for some people of the card, but like you're always going to have some sort of Galaxy card underneath it to negate and destroy, so it's just so good. And then the other 2 for rank 8 that I'm playing is Felgrand. This card has always been good in the deck. If you can just combo out this card so easy late game. Like if Photon Lord is not the best card to go into for whatever reason, you can go Photon Lord and Felgrand in like the same turn sometimes. Like it's not incredibly hard to do. So double Felgrand. Then we have Galaxy Eye Cypher Blade, and we have Full Armor as the Xyz Change package to go on top of cards like Cypher Dragon himself, number 62, and number 107, and we have number 38 because this card just belongs in here. It's part of the archetype, and it just negates spells, which is really, really good. The Ixie effect you could actually like use in this deck, which is something that's never come up with this card before, which comes up now. Then we have of course, the Cyber Dragon package, and then lastly, probably one of the best rank 4s the deck has ever gotten, or ever had access to, is the Star Liege Photon Blast Dragon. So basically, this is a generic rank 4, and when it's Ixie summon, you can special summon a Photon monster from your hand. It's usually going to be Galaxy Eyes if you set it up right. Thrasher into Vanisher, Vanisher search Galaxy Eyes, then you make this in defense, and then you summon the Galaxy Eyes from hand, and that's just you know, a 2-card play. But this thing has the effect that pretty much convinced me to want to like fully pick up the deck, and this I think is also coming out in the new Battles of Legend set as well. So what is the effect? Basically, monsters you control with 2,000 or more attack cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And then during your opponent's turn, you can detach a material and target a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon that's either banished or in your graveyard and special summon it. So like it's really good. If you have Orbital or if you have Hyperstar on board and you put this thing in defense, this thing is going to go up to 2,300 attack. Everything else you have on your field is pretty much always going to be over 2,000 attack. Soldier, Knight, Galaxy Eyes, Photon Lord. They all just can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And then if you have Orbital on this, it can't be destroyed by battle either. And it gains an additional 500 attack. So like, it's up to 2,800 attack, and it would have, you know, 3k defense because of Hyperstar and because of Orbital. And Orbital's a 3 of, and it's searchable as well. This card, I would play 2 of, but like, it's not that easy to make usually. Or maybe I just haven't found the right way to play the deck currently, because this is still like an alpha build, if you will. It's definitely going to change in the future. I might play 2 of this. If I did cut anything, it might be I don't even know, honestly. I might cut 107 for it, or a Falgran for a second one of these. It's just like, you play so many rank 5s and level 5s and 8s because you can make, like, they can get summoned to the field so easily, but level 4s you don't play that many of, and I don't know. When this card comes out, it's usually enough to like help you win the game. As is, it gives you so much advantage and you can protect it so easily. But yeah, it's a really good card. It definitely belongs in the deck, at least at 1 or 2 at max, I would think. It's just the extra deck space is just really, really tight right now, and I have no idea what else I'd change. The 107 came in the mail this morning, and I was like, I kind of really want to put this card in because it can set up some like really vicious, you know, OTKs with the card. But I might just cut 107 for a second one. This is my Photon Galaxy deck profile for pretty much, I would say, the July-August 2018 format. Obviously, it might change between now and then, but this is what it looks like right now for those who wanted to see the deck profile. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I went a little bit more in depth as well in this video because I wanted to explain, you know, my thought process on things and some combos. So I apologize if the video was a little bit longer. I'll definitely be getting more duel videos and probably maybe test hands. I don't know. But we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And as always, Winter Kill sign out. We'll see you in the next one.